look, I don't know where you are in life, but wherever you are, it doesn't have to be where you stay, right? We all grow up with different programming. We all grow up with this idea of who we should be, what we should do, what we should want to do. And oftentimes it looks like this, go to school, we're put in the school system, and we're told to get good grades, to do well, and go to college, get a degree, get a diploma, whatever, and then get a job. Work your way up the corporate ladder, make a lot of money, and save for retirement, and then retire at 65. But I think with social media, it's very clear that doesn't have to be the way things are. There are so many people living very different lives. Some people are traveling the world. Some people are working the job, and most people work. And I'm not saying you shouldn't work, but what I'm saying is you don't have to follow the script that society imposes upon you. You can write your own script. And you might have to be in the system for a while until you figure out what you want with your life, until you have enough capital invested that you have the freedom to go and do what you want. We all hear about that guy who drops out of high school and starts that business and becomes rich. And while that definitely is possible, and you see a lot of young guys on Instagram flashing their Lamborghinis and their Rolexes and all this materialistic BS, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you got to understand that these people you're seeing, oftentimes either they're faking it, maybe they're renting the car, maybe it's their parents' car, maybe they were handed money, maybe they had advantages that you didn't have. But if they were truly successful, it could be just because either they got lucky. See, the thing you got to understand about Instagram and social media is that you're seeing the highlight reels. You're seeing the best moments. And you're seeing the top of the top. You're seeing the best of the best. Because these people who are driving Lambos in your videos and who are living the kind of life that you want to live, whatever that may look like, traveling the world, whatever, it's the algorithm that's pushing these videos out to you. So for example, there's millions, if not billions, of videos posted to Instagram and TikTok every day. But only a small percentage of those videos are people who are actually doing these things that you want to do. And these things are being pushed out to you because you're searching for that. And because you're watching those videos, the algorithm is finding out what you like. And so, for example, if I go into my Instagram feed right now, I will see a lot of videos about businesses, starting a business, growing a business, like e-commerce, and getting rich, right? Because that's what I'm interested in at this time. Just because I see all of these in my feed, that doesn't mean that this is the norm. In fact, it's not. It's pretty rare. So I think we need to take a step back and put things into perspective. I'm not saying don't dream big. Use that as inspiration. But realize that you can do what you want to do, but it might not happen as fast as you want it to happen, right? You've got to work on things. You've got to build things. And that might take years. It might take a very long time. For example, let's say your goal is you want to retire early in your 30s or your 40s. You want to retire, travel the world. You want to be financially set for life. Maybe you have to work for 15, 20 years and invest your money diligently, So your idea of success and what you want in your life is achievable. It is. But you have to be strategic about things and realize it might not happen overnight. In fact, it probably won't. And you'll probably have to put in a lot of upfront work and a lot of upfront sacrifice. Sacrifice And not in like the disturbing sense, but giving things up that you want right now for things that you want even more later down the road, that's delayed gratification, and that is sacrifice. And that's something that I've been practicing in my life. I've been, investing a lot of money, as much as I can, given my circumstances. And I've been, trying to learn, trying to get better, trying to do better at my job. And, you just got to keep stacking up, keep adding things on, keep building skill sets, being disciplined, and getting inch by inch, getting closer to your goals. So I think a lot of people have to be more patient. At least that's what I'm trying to do. Because there are things that I wanted yesterday, but, I know that it's going to take more time. And I'm drinking a tea right now, trying to relax, because I'm just very anxious a lot of the time. I have a lot of anxiety about my future and a lot of uncertainty. But you don't have to. I know I don't have to, but I haven't figured out how not to yet, So build. Have a goal in your mind and build towards it. You don't have to do what your mom tells you to do or your dad tells you to do or what your teacher tells you to do, what society tells you to do. Do what you want to do, but understand that that thing that you ultimately want will take you doing some things that you probably don't want to do, right? The path to your dreams is not necessarily going to be a field of roses. In fact, it's more than likely not going to be. And I think that's why so many people never get there, is because they're not willing to make those moves, to make those sacrifices up front. But that's what you got to do. You have to. You have to be willing to understand, okay, what is my priority, right? What do I want to achieve? Let's use the example of retiring early. Well, in order to do that, I'm going to have to get my income streams up, right? And that could be as simple as working a job and investing as much as possible, eventually getting to the point where the dividends or capital gains from your portfolio will sustain your cost of living. That's one way to do it. You could start a business that cash flows. You can do all these different things. But I think the key is just to focus on kind of one avenue and just go like full speed ahead and try not to get too distracted. I've noticed myself getting kind of distracted with all these different business ideas that I see people doing online, like drop shipping or digital marketing agency or being a YouTuber. Like there's all these different avenues that people are making money online. And I find I get very overwhelmed because I can't choose, which is the best one, which one should I do? I'm making this channel right now because I'm trying to build something. I'm trying to build a brand, and I'm also trying to get my message out there, because I think a lot of people who have goals and, feel stressed out, feel like they're behind, feel like they're not, necessarily getting what they want right now, could resonate with this. And so if I can help just one person, I know it's cliche, but if I can help just one person feel better about themselves and realize that you're not alone, and that the journey to success and to achieving your dreams is oftentimes lonely, then, I'm happy to make these videos. So if you do like these videos, definitely drop a like and a comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But I got this tea. It's in a London mug. So if you can see that, let's see if I can zoom in here. So you can see I'm not a big tea drinker, but sometimes you mix things up. You got to be spontaneous, be flexible, be open, and just keep focused. Keep your eyes on the prize, and don't give up. You know, a lot of people might say, well, you know, times are tough right now. Maybe they're struggling to find a job. Maybe they're, you know, struggling in school. Maybe they've, you know, struggled to save money. Or they think the housing market's too expensive. There's all these different excuses that you can give yourself to give up or to not try as hard. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be challenging. And you just have to stop making excuses and just do what you got to do to get there, to get to your goals. Because ultimately, negative thinking and excuses are not going to get you anywhere. So the most successful people are the people who are positive and who are optimistic and believe in their vision and don't give up. Even when sometimes you want to, because everything just feels too hard, too overwhelming, too scary, too uncertain. Listen, write your own script. You don't have to follow the script society gave you. Just do it. Focus on your goal. Put in incremental work every day. You know, you don't have to be crazy about it. You don't have to work 70 hours a week like people say. Just move closer and closer over time, and you'll find that you'll get there eventually. It's not a matter of if, but when, if you never give up. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it inspirational, motivational. And if you did, subscribe, please. I'm trying to build this channel up, and I would love to have you on board. So thanks for watching. I'm Lucas. This was a pretty, unscripted, just raw video of me spitballing, saying a bunch of motivational gobbledygook, but hope someone found it useful. And I'll see you next time. Bye.